should we tease ahead to get into some trade deadline stuff, or do you want to, what are we thinking here? You want to fire it up here?
Them Commanders look like they're making some really good decisions.
That to me was the most interesting one because it does feel like the Commanders make a move to bring in Marshawn Lattimore from the Saints, and I think it might have been Pete Prisco who threw that out.
He did
yesterday.
throw it out there that they needed a corner.
Yeah,
because I thought they might have been eyeing up a receiver, and I wouldn't have been shocked if they did catch on to a receiver we weren't expecting to get traded.
And so they make the move to bring in Marshawn Lattimore, and it does feel like, look, I think the Adam Schefter report that came out over the weekend that people are campaigning to go to Washington now, that's just, it felt like a kiss-ass report through and through, but it does feel like something's happening there. And it reminds me of last year's Texans where C.J. Stroud got there, brand new head coach, and the vibe completely changed.
It's the excitement and the vibe that this ownership group has brought, man. That's what it is. I'm telling you. That's it's 100% what it is. It's like it's the spot. Like that's how it's being discussed. It's the spot.
Oh, and you say it's good vibes there. That's why they're bringing guys in.
Go figure, man. It's a great market anyway. It used to be a great market for guys to want to go to for a few good reasons. I can vouch for the fact that Washington, D.C., the DMV, Maryland, the district, Virginia, all the way down into Southern Virginia. It's a very, very diverse and beautiful place to be and to live. Great dining and great people. Great people. Of all kinds.
I've never been.
Oh, you should come
go,
hang out
man.
with
It's
your
great.
boy, man. We could go to the Smithsonian, go see the watch.
I think the other
really?
Ooh.
Dios mío.
Of all kinds. Believe you me.
I think the other thing that makes
I'm married now, but I am going back.
the other thing that makes the vibes high, I think, in Washington too, is Jayden Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
I think they look at him as a quarterback prospect and go, "Yep, we'll check the box there." Very similar to C.J. Stroud last year, where if there was any concerns, questions, his play so far through the halfway point of the season has made them say, "Okay, let's invest around this guy." So, typically, if there was any concern, you're looking at what they gave up in exchange for him, right? I think they gave up a 3rd rounder, a 4th rounder, and a 6th rounder in next year's draft.
Worth it.
So now it's not even just saying worth it. It's just the fact that would have been 3 players you would have taken in next year's draft, or a package you could have utilized to move up if you felt like Jayden Daniels wasn't the guy, or if you were concerned about it, whatever the case may be. That's gone now because you've got a rookie quarterback who's now showcased he can be the guy on a rookie deal for at least 2 more years. And so because of that, you can start trading and getting rid of some of that draft capital and bring in more veteran players. And in exchange, I guess they get a 5th-round pick. But the general point is you can move some of that draft capital because you've got that guy that you'd be utilizing for it. And so now it's about bringing some veteran pieces, but continuing to kind of build this thing up where you've got a roster that can compete for the division for maybe a Super Bowl.
Stand on it. Yeah. Stand on it. Stand on it.
Yeah.
They also have over $25 million in cap space. So that's the other significant thing to keep in mind. That's top 6 in the league. And that's where you can make these sorts of moves when you can absorb some of that cap, and especially moving forward, if that cap rolls over to next year, however much the cap goes up by, right? Let's say 10 or 20 million. If they've got 25 million of cap, you throw that on top. So now you're looking at a team that if it's a $20 or $15 million difference, let's say 20, make the numbers easy. That's 45 million in cap space they can utilize next year in free agency or in restructuring deals, et cetera, figuring some things out on their roster to make it all work.
Do you want to know how important the quarterback position is in the NFL? Do you remember when Ben Johnson didn't go to his final interview with the Commanders because there was basketball people running the organization? That was a report that came out.
Right.
all of a sudden you find yourself a quarterback in the draft. Dan Quinn takes over, and it's the coolest place.
Now
in
they
town.
just added Lattimore at the cornerback's position. They shore up their defense because that was really one of the aspects that they could have improved in, as Prisco mentioned yesterday. I'll say this about Jayden Daniels. The interesting thing is there is a blueprint that exists for his type of style of play and for his type of excitement that's been generated by a guy by the name of RG3, who had tremendous, amazing success early on. And I think the cautionary tale is you got to stay dialed in. You got to stay aware of your surroundings, and you got to know that for as athletic as you are, it's still the Serengeti out there. And they are protecting quarterbacks differently now, but you got to be very, very aware, and you got to be very careful, because you could get to a point of where you get so comfortable with how well you do and how athletic you are and things you're able to do that it could catch up to you. And I think Jayden Daniels and this fan base, there's probably a little awareness of the fact that we have had a quarterback that generated this type of excitement for us in the draft. But there just seems to be something about Jayden Daniels that if you just pay attention to him, he's one of those guys that you look at and you say he has an it factor, and it's not just on the field. It's who he is. It's how he handles the media. It's how he handles the fans. It's just how he moves around. There's no arrogance about him. There's no too high and uplifted. Like, he's kind of one of these guys that he fits what that city has needed. And I think that that's pretty cool, because to come in that form where he's able to play at the level he's able to play at, do the things that he's able to do, but yet he's a common dude. Like, he's going to stop and talk to you. He's going to sign your autographs. He handles the media in such ease and such a mature fashion. I've not been able to be so high on my former team, but I'll tell you what, man, he does generate a ton of excitement. And I can't say I've always been a fan of players. Like, I've always had an opportunity to kind of get a personal feel for who they are or what they bring to the table. And while a lot of them have been really, really tremendous players for the team and athletes for the team, I just wasn't really fans of them as people. And I don't feel that way about Jayden Daniels. I'm looking forward. I've never met him, but the circles of people, because he's from here, I've known about who he is since he's been in high school, and I've seen him play. I've been in person where he's been there. Never really got any chance to really chop it up with him, but I'm actually looking forward to meeting him, which is kind of weird to say. Like, at my age, I've gotten to a point where that doesn't matter.
I think he's looking forward to meeting you, meeting your ass.
I don't know about all that, but I am looking forward to meeting him, man. I'm a fan of Jayden Daniels for certain.